It's recording. It is 3:13 p.m. on September 10th, 2020. This is Kai Walther for the COVID-19 project. And what is your name?
My name is Bob Connelly.
And do I have your permission to record this?
Yes.
Okay. So who invited you to join this project?
Kai Walther.
How has COVID-19 impacted you?
In a lot of different ways, obviously, as it has with so many other people. My husband and I are extremely fortunate that we have not lost jobs. We have not suffered significant financial loss. We've not lost loved ones. I'm able to, certainly we had to change a lot of plans. We had a lot of travel plans coming up, but I'm able to work from home during the pandemic. And also I'm teaching online. I teach at American University. So during the spring semester when COVID emerged in the United States, I had to transfer my class online. Which was a lot of work, but it went pretty smoothly. And I basically spent the summer preparing for online teaching this fall. So when classes started a couple of weeks ago, I felt that I was prepared for that. So, obviously it has affected our lives, but we're managing.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank you.
Who or what has kept you going in this moment of crisis?
Well, this might sound a little odd, but when this all started, I decided that I wasn't going to focus on the things that I was losing. I was instead going to focus on what opportunities were being presented to me. And that sounds a little strange, but this is how I looked at it. Having to stay home and having to quarantine meant that research projects that I just hadn't gotten around to, I was finally able to work on. When I tackle a research project, I like to spend 6 hours straight working on it rather than doing it piecemeal here and there. And so I was finally able to do that, is spend a lot of time researching LGBTQ history that I had been meaning to do for a long, long time. And I got a long way with that. I actually accomplished a lot with that. Unfortunately, now I'm at the point where I need to go to libraries around the country and dig through archives because the things that I need in the next step of my research are not available online. But fortunately, I was able to do a lot of research online. So that was one of the opportunities that I decided COVID-19 was going to give me. I think also, my house has never been cleaner. I did a lot of yard work, did some landscaping. My gym was closed, obviously, and I used to go to the gym or go to the pool pretty regularly. I wanted to maintain some sort of movement in my life, but since I couldn't go to the gym and I couldn't go to the pool, I started walking, and I'd never been a walker before. I mean, I would drive down the street to pick up the paper. That's that was pretty much my method of thinking. And so I started walking a lot, and I admit I had never listened to a podcast before. I had just never had sort of the occasion to listen to a podcast while I was doing something else. And so I started listening to podcasts as I was walking. And so I'd go out for an hour and a half walk, and I'd run through 2 or 3 podcasts. And so I learned a lot of stuff. I listened to a lot of really great podcasts like Planet Money from NPR, a great podcast called Backstory. Mo Rocca does a podcast called Mobituaries, which is about the death of something, not necessarily a person, but like one of his mobituaries was about the television rural purge around 1970 when CBS canceled all of its rural comedies like Green Acres and Beverly Hillbillies and Petticoat Junction and replaced them with more sophisticated comedy fare. So the death of rural comedies on television. So I really enjoyed Mobituaries. I ran through all of that. So I've been enjoying these podcasts and turning my walking sessions into sort of learning experiences. So that's how I chose to cope with this. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not getting tired of it all. I certainly am, and I certainly have a sense of wanderlust. I'm ready to start traveling again. But as I said, I just wanted to get in the mindset of, okay, well, what can I do that I wasn't doing before? And so that's sort of helped me cope with all of this.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I found that focusing on what I can't do is just absolutely debilitating. So there's got to find another way to think about it all. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's not always easy to do. I mean, sometimes you can go down that rabbit hole of despair and, oh my gosh, I'm missing getting together with these people that I do every summer. I'm missing these trips that I had planned. But as I said, I try to think of the opportunities that I have. And I also keep in mind that I really am so fortunate and much more fortunate than a lot of people. So I count my blessings.
Good. Yeah. And then what do you hope we'll learn from this crisis?
Well, it's a little cliche, but things that are cliche become cliche because they're true. We are all in this together. And I would hope that that would be the feeling and understanding that everybody will come out of this with, whether it's everybody in your family or your community, your country, the world. I just would hope that we would all recognize that we are so much more connected than we necessarily think we are. And this pandemic has connected us in negative ways, obviously, through the spread of the virus. But we can be connected through the way that we cope with it and the way we come out of it. And so that's the positive that that I hope we come through this with, a better understanding of each other.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Thank you.
So that is all the questions. I will stop recording.